Hey everybody, we are back in the kitchen with celebrity chef Katie. So happy to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so happy to have you. So it smells really good. We've got ginger and garlic in here, and we are going to make some chicken wings, but a healthy version of chicken wings just in time for the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, so we're doing a honey garlic ginger glaze. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna cook the chicken wings to make them nice and crispy without like just a little salt and pepper, a little bit of oil, and then once they're basically crispy and cooked, then we're gonna take this glaze and then pour them on top. And we're gonna substitute some of the ingredients to make it a little bit healthier version of it. So for the sweetener, we're gonna do honey. I am gonna put some soy sauce, but we're gonna do the low sodium, like gluten-free.
That one's not gluten-free.
This is not gluten-free, but to make it healthy, you can make gluten-free.
Yes.
And then you can do liquid aminos, and then instead of cornstarch, we do a little bit of arrowroot powder to thicken the sauce up. And then we do ginger and garlic for flavor.
And look at how she is peeling her ginger. I've never seen this before. You're using a spoon.
Yeah, it's like a little hack I honestly prefer it to get a spoon that has a little bit of an edge, and then you just...
That's amazing.
Like this.
And she is using all of my things, so nothing here is chef grade, and you're making do with whatever I have in my house, so everyone at home can do this as well. This is like, we have celebrity chef Katie here, but we're using all of my things, so it's like, you know, anyone at home can do this too. And I'm super excited, and I just want you guys to know that the chicken is already in the oven, okay? So we put the olive oil, salt, and pepper, it's in the oven cooking, and now we're going to make the sauce, which is the most important part, because that's what makes it taste so yummy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, so how much ginger are we using? Like, what are we proportionally using here?
Like about maybe 4, depending on the size, right? Like 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, around the same amount, I guess, visually.
Okay.
The ginger. How I cook is I basically take what I think and then I kind of taste it and then add. So what I'll do is I'll mix it together, taste it, which I use a spoon for a tasting spoon. So I'm doing with this because most people do have a microplane, and if you don't, I'd highly recommend having it as a staple. I don't want the ginger to be like chunks of ginger, so it's going to be like thin.
Perfect.
And
then if they don't have a microwave, can they just use like a cheese grater at home, or is that not going to work? That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and you could even chop it up as well in tiny little pieces. It's just, personally, I think it takes longer. So another little hack too, and this is something that it's kind of like what I call a cheat, is you can have some stores like Whole Foods sell ginger juice. And it has just the same potency, and you put it in your fridge, and I always have it just in case, like let's say I don't have ginger, and
that's good to know.
It's a little bit easier, you get the ginger flavor.
Amazing.
To do all this, because this is one of those things you don't necessarily need like the chunks of ginger, you kind of just want the ginger flavor. So.
Amazing. Ooh, you just get your nail? Oh no. And
that is why chefs do not
This is why chefs don't do their nails, right? But it smells really good, guys. The ginger's amazing. So we do this with the ginger, and then with the garlic, are you doing the same thing?
Actually no. So I was gonna say I'm gonna have you do that while I do this for time's sake. So to make it sort of easier, take your hand, just do that, and then you smash the garlic, and then when you go to chop it, it just makes it so much easier to do. Like the little thing.
Of course, you make it look so easy. Chop, 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 chop.
I'm a huge fan of a garlic crust. That's another cheat of mine.
Okay, well that's good.
Not every chef does it, but I love it. I have a garlic crust I get from Snowman.
That's great. I think I'm going to get one too. That's great.
It's so great. Put it in there. It's not great for everything because it makes it really tiny and fine. But something like this, I think a little texture is going to be good. I would say for this, have your hand on top of the knife always.
So I don't chop my fingers off? Oh, yeah. I don't want to chop my fingers off. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once we got chopped up, what's the next step?
Perfect. Okay. So, I got a bowl.
All right.
Okay. I know that people need measurements, so I know that we can do like maybe like later on when you post it, like a measurement.
Yeah, so we'll write the recipe below on all the measurements and everything you need. So we are now going to put the garlic and the ginger.
Hold on a second. I'm going to mix the liquids first. So I'm going to do both.
Do you need measuring cups? No.
No.
So the beauty of having a chef with you is that you don't use measuring, but we will have the ingredients below with the measuring for you, okay? So that's the beauty of it. Yes.
The great thing about the way that I cook, which we can always do another segment, and I can kind of give you some tips, is you do a little bit of each of the ingredients, and I know I'm making it sound much easier than it is, but And then I always taste as I go, which I think is such a great thing to learn. Is like you go, okay, a little bit of this. How much? You know, like you want it to be sweet, salty, a little bit of garlic
for sure.
And then you can always add and like
amazing
and sort of make it taste the way you want it to. Now we're adding the water so that when we go to make the glaze, the water will evaporate out. But
okay. So for people who, so do you always make the glaze and then put it on the chicken?
Yeah. So I always cook the chicken with just a little bit of oil, a little salt and pepper. The bowl's it right on the edges, so I'm trying to not spill it. Yeah, so a little oil, a little salt and pepper, and then I make the glaze and then pour it on top. So this way you get the crispy of the chicken.
Got it.
And then you can pour a little bit of sauce. And then what I do is I do just a little bit of sauce. I put it back in the oven, let it sort of cook into the chicken for like 10 minutes or so, or 400. And then a lot of times I serve the sauce on the side as well. I kind of like, for a healthier option, you can do just a little bit for the flavor, and then people can always sort of add more sauce if they want, you know.
That's great.
Some people just like it. It keeps it crispier that way too. If you douse it in sauce, it kind of takes away the crispiness of it.
For sure.
Okay. So I just mixed in.
I just love how healthy this version is, because you can have your chicken wings with organic chicken and all these clean ingredients, and it still tastes yummy.
Right. Yeah, and use the honey as the sugar alternative, which again, there's so many sugar alternatives. You're not doing sugar. There's other options around that as well. Okay, so this is obviously how I'm not using, again, we'll put the measurements up, but just do a little bit of.
And so what's the purpose of this arrowroot? To thicken it?
Yeah, so this is actually a little, honestly, it makes it a little bit easier. Oh my gosh. So for the arrowroot, it helps thicken it to make it in glaze. Now technically, if you make a glaze on the stove and you evaporate the water, it's going to thicken anyway. But I think it just helps a little bit with the texture as well, and to kind of keep the sauce all together. Yeah. So
amazing.
Luckily, this actually mixed in with just a spoon, but I would probably do a whisk so you don't get any like lumps or whatever.
Got it.
Okay. So what I did was actually mix the powder in before I mixed this in, just to kind of, I don't know, just to didn't form lumps.
Okay.
So mixing the garlic, mixing the ginger.
And then how long are we going to cook it over the stove?
I would say, it's hard to tell. It depends. Like, I'm going to say at least 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then you just want to, like, we can show, like, maybe in the video, like, what the texture should look like.
For sure.
Again, this is how I cook. I sort of just throw things together.
No, that's fine.
And it's based on, like, visuals and sort of.
Smells really good.
Yes.
Smells really good.
So simple. It's just a few ingredients.
Right.
And I am going to mix in a little bit of the sesame seed, I think.
Oh.
We can also top it with sesame as well, but just to kind of add a little more flavor.
And no oil. You don't put any oil in it?
I think that was. We're gonna put that in there.
I have sesame oil.
I was like, it's missing something. And
well, no, but that's okay. This is how you wing it. I have sesame oil, I have olive, I have avocado.
Oh my god, so silly. Okay, yes. So I would actually do. I don't want sesame to sort of overpower the flavor. So just do like avocado oil, something like Yeah, you can do olive oil, but I like the more neutral oils.
All right. So
I was like, this is really missing something. All right, perfect.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
No. So so you put your sesame seeds in, and now are we ready to cook, or what? What else
so
do we have
that's
to
it.
do?
So we'll add the oil in.
Oh, we add the oil in.
Yeah,
okay.
add the oil all the way together.
And again, we're not measuring right now because we have a professional chef, but we will be putting all the measurements down below for you so you know how to actually make this taste like Chef Kate's amazing recipe.
Okay, so I am going to taste this.
All right.
Even with the measurements, I would still taste it.
Okay.
I want everybody in the world to know it's an important thing to do when you're cooking.
Right. So taste as you go. I love that. I love that. That's your.
Let me see, especially because I didn't use measurements, but. Okay, so as I'm tasting it, it's a little bitter. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little more honey.
Okay.
Actually.
Honey?
A little more fat, to be honest.
A little more fat? You want more honey too?
It's kind of sweet, as I'm thinking. Tiny bit more honey.
Tiny bit more honey. I'm going for it. I'm going to be like Chef Katie. No measurements. Here we go.
And then did we do both of these, right? We did a little more aminos too. Okay.
Yeah, let me get another spoon. Which we have right here.
Thank you.
Alright. So that's why you taste as you go. Because if you don't taste as you go, you wouldn't know that that was bitter.
Right, and you know, let's say you do the exact measurements that we post,
Yeah.
you still want to taste it. Because
Sure.
it may not be something that you like. You might be like, oh, actually, you know, I don't like that much.
That's right.
I don't know, I want it to be sweeter or not as sweet. It's so important. That's
It
why I
is.
always say trust no recipe.
Well, my family is not a sweet, like we're not into
Yeah,
sweet food. We don't
right.
like sweet food, so I know
Right,
that.
see?
But you need the honey because you need it for the texture.
Well, you definitely need the honey, yeah, because it kind of gives it that depth of flavor with all the flavors together with the ginger and okay. Bottom, look at that. I'm flipping them because the bottom tends to get crispier, and then you want both sides to be as crispy as possible. You see, like, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, this looks so yummy. Look at that. The bottom is beautiful. Alright, so I turn this on high.
It's amazing how little arrowroot you can put in to thicken it. That's incredible.
Right.
I didn't know. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, arrowroot's pretty intense. I feel like you always want to start with a little because you don't want it to be gummy.
Right.
If you do too much. Yeah. It smells so good. Woo, it's hot. Okay, so I had it on high.
Ooh, it's getting
So-
thick, guys.
Yeah. Look at
That's
that. So
amazing.
it's
So you put in literally like I think a tablespoon of the arrowroot.
I feel like not even. I feel like maybe like 1 or 2 teaspoons. I mean,
Wow.
I do something
And that thickens
Yeah.
it this much. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
like- and the thing is, when you cook it on high, the water cooks out, so it naturally becomes a glaze anyway. But then the arrowroot kind of gives it that extra like
Wow.
creaminess. Yeah.
And it smells spectacular.
It smells so good like that. So it's only been a few minutes and it's already thickening up. So quick and easy. I love it. I love quick and easy.
We love quick and easy. That is our motto in this
Yeah,
house.
least
Quick
amount
and
of
easy.
dishes possible. If you really wanted to do no dishes, you just mix everything in here and
This
turn
is
it on.
amazing.
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah. Oh, yummy. So another thing to consider too, when you make a glaze and you cook the water out, things tend to be saltier and sweeter once you make the glaze. Again, we're gonna give you the measurements, but it's just like little.
So
tips.
when you're tasting it, if it's a little bit bitter, you know that when you cook it,
Yeah.
it'll sweeten up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know.
So
good to know.
something that's really important to know for anybody is when you're making something, like I said, if you're making any glaze and you're thickening any sauce, always do a little less salt than what you think it needs. Mostly the salt, that's important. Always get saltier. So I don't know if you wanted to taste it or not.
That's yeah. Well, that it's and I use kosher chicken, which already is salty. So for me, if you guys use kosher chicken at home, that's even. Oh my God, that's really good. Wow.
Yeah.
Mmm.
And you can taste all the things, right? It's like salty, it's sweet, has the
Oh my God.
punishing.
And it's healthy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shout out to Chef Katie over here. This is awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and this sauce is good, like even if you don't want to do actual chicken wings, like imagine you can
Salmon.
make this, oh man, it'll be so good. It's kind of like in a sense, it's kind of like a teriyaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. So
But on wings, it just seems like you're kind of like
I love that.
cheating a little bit.
Well, I think this is such a delicious sauce and it can be used on anything. I mean, I'm ready to put this on my salmon. I can do this with like any kind of chicken. I mean, it's yum.
So good.
Yum, yum.
Did you give me a spoon?
I give you a wooden spoon so you don't burn your hand, Chef Katie.
So also with these chicken wings, once you have the glaze, it's like mostly, once it thickens just a little bit, you can add it onto the chicken wings and then put it back in for another 10 minutes so it cooks into it. I think
I like that.
That is a good idea to do.
Let's
that.
do that. Let me get
really
little mittens so you don't burn yourself because you know you're a professional chef here. Okay, guys. So our chicken's in here and we're gonna take it out, right? And I'm gonna put it up here. That looks good. All right. So let's see how you make your magic work here.
So I don't want to use all of it because I definitely want to save some, because you kind of want, what you're going to do is you'll put a little bit on and then you want to save some because you want to make sure when you're plating it, we're going to plate it and then pour a little bit more sauce on, and you can also have some on the side if you want. That's not necessary. You see how it's not fully thickened yet, but just enough to add it a little bit to the chicken wings. Okay. Oh, it smells so good.
Right, it just smells amazing. I wish you guys could smell through the screen. Oh, yum. Okay, when are you gonna come and make an amazing meal for us? Because that's what we need now. That is the next step. This is amazing.
I would love to. You have a great kitchen.
Oh my God.
And we gotta pick the date.
I think there has to be something said about the energy you put into your food too, because
Absolutely.
Chef Katie has an amazing energy. I'm sitting here with her and I just feel your energy and I know it's going into your food, which just makes it that much better.
Oh yeah, it does. That's why when people say like, you know, sounds corny, like ingredient love, or you know, but it's true. You can definitely taste the energy.
All right, put it back in. Okay, so then how much longer are we cooking for it now?
I would just do like 7 to 10 minutes. You just want to kind of like re-crisp up with the sauce.
Okay.
And so look, we saved like a little more than half of it.
And is this for dipping or are we gonna pour this back on?
So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna plate it. We're gonna pour a little bit more on top, and I want to have just a little bit on the side because some people like the extra sauce.
Right.
But then it won't get soggy and will stay crispy.
Awesome, great. All right, guys. Chef Katie, are these ready?
They are beautiful. Look at that. So it
Oh,
cooked in
oh my
there, but they're
God.
still crispy. It's not like doused in sauce. Okay, so we're gonna plate it. It's probably super hot. I don't know if you want
All right, we're gonna put them here now. Show us how to plate these and make them look spectacular.
So again, pile high. It's just you want to just
For the effect
put
of...
a little bit of a smaller plate so that they look a little bit more impressive, and because you want it to be full. You want it to be just
Love it.
yeah. So what I'm sort of just placing it at. Ooh.
They look so good.
Hey, look at that. Oh my God. Yo, if you can smell, I wish you can smell stuff through the camera. Look at that. That's beautiful. Look at the color on that. It's
Amazing.
crispy.
It's amazing.
So again, you see how I'm piling it up, but not where it's going to fall over. But this tray, this is a perfect platter because it's just big enough where we can get this, it holds the sauce. Okay, so look at that.
Amazing.
As a chef, I always, oh, you're not gonna tape this, okay. And then do one more on top. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay.
So I love that you said use a small platter because
Yes.
you want to pile high. I can hold on to this for you.
So I'm gonna pour this on, and I don't want to get you, so I'm actually gonna leave it. Okay, so you see how when we initially poured it on, it wasn't as thick. I left it on
Right.
while I was cooking, and look at
Ooh.
this glaze.
That's amazing.
That's what you want it to look like.
So that was sitting for about 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes on the stove.
I'm like medium to high, depending on how much time you have.
Awesome.
The higher, higher the heat, the quicker it is. So
Amazing.
what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do like a little.
Yeah,
So I'm left-handed, so I'm just.
Would you like me?
No, it's perfect. I'm just gonna do this for presentation-wise, just to get a little more sauce. But I really like to leave a little on the side.
Wow.
A lot of people like sauce on the side. It's the little things, you know.
Oh my God, this
Attention
looks
detail.
amazing.
Okay, so always garnish, please. It's so important. It's such a simple little thing. Do a little of this on top.
Okay.
I'm getting it all over your
Guys,
floor.
if you make this for your friends and family for the Super Bowl, they are going to love you because you are now inspired by a professional chef right here. She is the bomb diggity bomb. Look at that, guys. Oh my God.
A little extra touch too. You do a little chopped green onion scallion. It just makes it like something green on top would be pretty too.
That's amazing. Okay, we're gonna have to do a taste test.
Yeah.
We're doing a
I
taste
love
test.
to.
Okay, 1 second. Can we take a picture of us together with this? Because I think it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Don't try. Just a platter.
Love it. Here, let me show you.
All right.
Oh, cute.
Do you guys like
Good.
it?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
So cute.
All right.
Awesome.
Shall we do a taste test? Okay. All right. They're super hot, but we need to taste these
So
because they're
hot.
just so good.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wow, they're like falling off the bone.
they're really good, guys. Oh, this is gonna be a huge hit.
They're so hot, I can't.
Go
Oh, this is
Rams.
yummy.
Go Chef Katie. This is going to be one of the best dishes you have this Super Bowl. Give it a try.
So good.
So hot. It's so hot.